Good evening. Welcome to this evening's town board meeting. Please stand for the pledge to the flag.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for coming this evening. Okay, so we start with the approval of the minutes. So there's a motion approving the June 12th, 2024 minutes of the regular meeting of the town board.
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? It's carried. Thank you. There's no bidded openings. There's no public hearings. There really isn't any supervisor updates. And so we move on to the privilege of the floor. Privilege of the floor is the first section in which anybody attending can say something, a question or a comment, but specifically on the agenda items only. I do remind everybody, and these hold for both sections in which people speak, that we do have general rules in terms of speaking. Please just show respect to everybody in the room or anybody that you're referring to. Residents only, please, because we are the ones who determine what happens in our community. Please keep it to 3 minutes. And please please say your name and address first so that we know that you're a resident. And agenda item is the first section. The first section is for the agenda items only. But when we get to the last section, after we conduct our business for this evening, then you're welcome to ask a question or make a comment about anything else of town business. And then please address your comments to the board only. And the commentary must be on town business only. No personal comments about elected officials, town employees, or anyone in attendance. We're here to decide how we move forward as a community, but to do it together, so we need to do it respectfully. And with that, does anybody have any questions or comments specifically for the agenda? Okay, so then we'll move on. So resolutions and motions, we don't have anything for this evening. Public Works, Steve, do you have anything to put forward?
The only thing I want to say is a thank you to our, especially our water department in opening up our new pool this past week here. So I know they were very instrumental in helping to get everything there. All of the different departments kind of work together to get it done. So just want to say thank you to all the hardworking staff members over there.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Okay, great. So then we will move on to finance. Sue?
Authorization for the town board to approve payment in the amount of $5,023.24 to the law firm of Coughlin and Gerhardt LLP for outside counsel fees for professional services rendered through May 31st, 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any against? Okay, and it's carried. Thank you.
Authorization for the town board to approve payment in the amount of $3,482.50 to the law firm of Hancock Estabrook LLP for outside counsel fees for legal services rendered through May 31st, 2024.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
Seconded.
Thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? And it's carried. Thank you. Next one.
Authorization for Daniel Reynolds, town attorney, to sign a stipulation of settlement for 2023, 2024 pertaining to the following Article 7 tax certiorari case, Downside Risk Inc., tax map number 158.11-1-15. The business office is authorized to process any refunds.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thanks. And carried? Oh,
Seconded.
seconded. Sorry. Thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I jumped the gun. And any against? Thank you. And it's carried. And Anything else under that section, Sue?
No,
Okay, thank you. And so we'll move on to personnel. Steve?
Approval for water, wastewater, and parks department heads to hire personnel without prior town board approval for vacant positions contingent upon satisfactory completion of background checks and town and county requirements. And this relates to obviously making sure that our department heads can get the right personnel in and not have a delay from the board process to be able to get in the ideal candidates they like to hire.
Okay, thanks. Do we have a motion?
so moved.
Thanks, and seconded?
Seconded.
Okay, before we move on to a vote, can I just ask one question? Do we want to make it specific to those specific individuals? And so that they can do it for the period that they are in their position? Do you want to make it specific to them, or do you just want to say those departments for forever? Yeah.
Yes, department heads.
Mm,
I mean, I'm okay with that verbiage for department heads. I
Yeah.
mean, it's up to
What do you think?
the board.
Okay, yes,
Yes,
department heads or in general?
department heads.
Okay.
And I would like to see it for the specific people, because those are the people we know and trust.
Mhm.
Someone in the future, we might want to rescind it from. So I see your point on that,
Okay.
but I'm okay with
So,
department heads.
Robert?
I'm good with the department heads.
Okay, well, we can always make another motion if there's an issue in the future, so we'll go with the department heads. So as it reads. Okay, so we have the motion, so we'll call for a vote now. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And it's carried. Thank you. Okay,
Ten
next one.
point 1.2 authorization for Patrick Harnan, recreation planner, to hire summer sports camp staff as outlined in his June 21, 2024 memo. The start dates and rates of pay are also identified in the memo, which is included in the addendum. It was for basketball camp, softball camp, baseball camp, tennis. Patrick does a good job of bringing in a lot of different people, so certainly the long list.
See attached
Yes, see the.
for the record, they're on record. So do we have a motion
So moved.
and seconded?
Seconded.
And at this point, I just want to thank Patrick Harnan and his staff for doing an amazing job and gearing up for all of the summer programs. Just incredible work that they've done, and hence their long list, but all getting ready for some great stuff. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, and it's carried. And moving on to planning and zoning. Sue?
Authorization to advertise on July 1, 2024 for a public hearing to be held on Wednesday, July 10, 2024. The public hearing is for a proposed local law regarding the revisions to Town Code, Chapter 5, Article 5, signs.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion
So moved.
and seconded?
Seconded.
And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? And it's carried. Okay, so that'll be discussed on the public hearing, but it's a proposed modification of the code. Okay, and anything else under that section, sir?
No,
Okay, so we move on to public safety, which is also yours. So thank you.
authorization to advertise on July 10, 2024 for a public hearing on July 24, 2024 regarding the establishment of a special taxing district within the town for emergency medical services.
Okay, thanks. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So, second.
Thanks. And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? And it's carried. So we'll have a public hearing on that as well. And the next one?
Authorization for the supervisor to sign contracts for SRO programs.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, and seconded,
Seconded.
and all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, and receive and file? Do you want to
We
read?
have
Mhm.
financial warrants, 2024, 24, 24X, 25, normal weekly warrants for the week of 6/14/2024, 6/15/2024 bond payments, warrants dated 6/14/2024, and normal weekly warrant dated 6/21/2024 2024. So we're paying the bills.
Thank you very much. Okay, there's no petitions and protests. There's no old business. We do have something under new business though. So 16.1.1, authorization to advertise on July 10th, 2024, for a public hearing to be held on July 24th, 2024. The public hearing is pertaining to the creation of the Vestal Fire District under Town Law 170. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And seconded?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And it's carried. Thank you. Okay, so we'll move into supervisors' announcements. And just a few things. First of all, on the SROs, the contract is going into place. There will be 5 full-duty Vestal SROs in place for the fall semester and throughout next year. That was as many as the school district could afford this year. So the agreement was made between the board and the school that if they can afford the 6th at some point, that we would hire a police officer and be able to accommodate it. But it wasn't possible this year because of their budget. So going forward, those 5 officers will be remain in place. And they're doing a fantastic job. So also, I want to thank everybody who made it possible for the pool to open. So the pool is, I don't want to say packed because that's implying the wrong thing, but it is very busy. People are enjoying it immensely, both the new pool and the splash pad. And that is very much thanks to all of the work that Vern Myers, our town engineer, and Connor did in all the preparations. But they worked hand in hand with Scott Groats from Water and Sewer and his personnel, Craig Hiller and his personnel, from Highway, who helped them with a lot of the last minute stuff, but could not have opened without it. And lastly, but certainly not least importantly, Patrick Harnan and his staff, who did an absolutely amazing job, not only in preparation for the pool while it was being constructed, but in making sure that it's staffed and it's run safely for the entire summer. So I just want to thank all our town personnel, but I also want to thank the funding that we received to make it possible. From Jason Gardner and Daniel Reynolds from the county, Donna Lapardo and Leah Webb from the state. Without their funding, their pledging of funds for us, it just wouldn't have been a possibility, or it would have been on our residents' cost. And so we want to thank them as well. But they did a great job with it, and it looks fantastic. And then this Saturday, June 29th, the Binghamton Rebel Ponies will be highlighting the town of Vestal at their 6 o'clock Saturday game. The first pitch will be at 6:07. Fans who wear green and gold can purchase tickets for a special price of $9. And I can say very happily that they will be spotlighting in video some of our town personnel on the big screens. And 2 of our town personnel will be throwing out the first couple of balls. So please, I hope that everybody who either is reading these minutes or is watching this video and those present will join us at the game, because I'll be there as well. But they will be throwing out the balls because they will be much better at it. But it's very good. A lot of our town personnel are going. So I hope that Vestal residents come. I think it'll be a great night. And lastly, I just want to remind everybody, this coming Monday is brush pickup. So please put it out there, and please understand that there's about 140 miles of roads in Vestal. So it takes about a week to get to everybody, but they will be around. But if you have it out on time, they won't miss you. And with that, I want to wrap up my section. And I then want to ask any of the committee chairs if they have anything else to announce or offer.
Public safety.
So,
Vestal PD received a thank you note. Thank you so much for your participation in this year's Binghamton Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics New York. With your support, events like this help the over 800 athletes and the Southern Tier region participate in over 22 different sports all year long. So they got a letter of thanks and included a nice picture of all the officers that participated. So very nice.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Any other committee chairs have anything to offer? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so with that, we move on to the public comment section, which is our last public chance for the public to make a comment or ask a question. And once again, the same rules as we said before. We just want to make this a positive environment for everybody. But if you would like to ask us anything, this is definitely the time. Anybody have any questions or comments from the audience?
Yes,
Ma'am?
yes.
Can you just go forward because it is on video, so it's the only way people at home can hear you.
And Sue, there's a
Yeah.
microphone right there.
Right there.
Right, oh, right.
The microphone.
Okay,
Right in the
oh,
mic.
good. Thank you. Okay, good evening, and it's nice to know that I have getting feedback. Yeah, it's nice to know that I know some of you for years and many are new to me. Therefore, I would like to tell you who I am and why I'm here. I've lived in Vestal since 1971, and I am a retired physical therapist married to an orthopedic surgeon who spent many hours doing sports physicals for our local school children and sports teams. For many years, we were very involved with school activities, support of sports, and some interest in our Vestal town workings. We did. I have had several amazing experiences connected to our Vestal Museum, and the desire to know your plans for that building are what have brought me here tonight. I was in a unique position to know about this historic building being scheduled to be moved to the rail trail. I decided to come find out. See how good I am at this. I decided to come to find out what has happened to those plans, and because twice some funds were granted and twice nothing happened. It was under our former supervisor. I felt the need to come and ask what your plans are. With our new supervisor, Ms. Sexton, I want to be sure that you know about the importance of this museum and the Historic Society. I want to be sure that you know that under the leadership of the museum staff, a fully unique Haudenosaunee Festival has been held right here in Vestal. A Vestal High School graduate, happens to be my son, was also helpful in bringing speakers, and most amazing, the staff brought the Witness to Injustice ceremony. This happened right here in our town. This is historic in itself. We may be the only community in the state of New York who has brought such incredible Native American speakers, and most amazing, the weekend celebration became noticed even by our own Binghamton University, and they worked with the museum staff to enrich and grow the festival. I keep asking friends, how's Vestal doing? I want to know that we are not known for a parkway of malls and chain restaurants, but for the great schools and culture in the town. We must keep that culture alive with our library programs, our care of our children with our parks, and we must support musical and especially support our Historic Society and museum. How many of you on the town board have noticed the treasured green railroad building, which is now dwarfed by town storage garages? Let's be sure our heritage is preserved, and I ask the town board, please look at your own history to discover that at one time, the museum was to be moved to the rail trail. Please consider that history and inform the residents of your decision. Thank you. I didn't say I'm Susan Carpenter and I live on 332 Bun Hill Road.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was wonderful. And the town board has already discussed the movement of the museum, and we would love to do it. We're looking for grants. It will cost approximately $2 million to move it at this point. The numbers, beginning COVID and continuing, the numbers just skyrocketed. So what was possible probably for a lot less a long time ago now would be extremely expensive. However, we are still actively looking for grants. And all the residents should know, and our town employees all know, and certainly our departments all know because they've developed their wish lists. We are absolutely looking for grants for a lot of different ideas that our personnel want to do. Craig Hiller, for example, of our parks, and you mentioned parks, our Parks and Highway Department wants to do amazing stuff with the parks. It costs a lot of money, but there is money out there. So now we're gonna be making a concerted effort to look at everything and do as much as we possibly can. But the museum absolutely is on our agenda. If we can find the funding, we will do it as well. So, no. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for speaking. Does anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay, thank you. Well, then with that, can I have a motion to move to end the normal section and to move into the executive session for the purpose of personnel for the museum and the elected officials' conduct?
So moved.
So moved.
Thank you. And seconded?
And then
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And it's carried. Thank you very much for coming this evening.